Yesterday evening, just before dark, I was probing this area out, and this is the probe that I like to use. It's 4 feet long, a T-handle made out of spring steel, has a carbide tip on it. But last night, I got a hit at about this depth, about 18 inches, and what I hit was this brick. And now this is the only brick I found in this hole so far. But when I started digging into it, I started getting all sorts of broken plate. And so just before dark, I was working my way down here, came up to the neck of a bottle that seemed to be whole. I left it there. Here's the bottle right there. It looks like a flat panel medicine, and it's kind of darkish in color. Might be amethyst. It's been there a while. It's about ready to come, I think. There you go. Flat panel medicine. There is some embossing. It's a Sawyer's extract. Yep, both sides. That's good. Beginning to bring up some pieces to a broken green bottle. Looks like it might be a flat panel pharmacy. You know, if I had a chance to go back to 1890 and these guys are standing outside this hole, throwing in these dishes and probably breaking some of them intentionally just because they could, I'd beg them not to, and I'd let them know I'd be back in about 130 years to recover them, but can't teleport back in time, so we're stuck with what they left. Got this shiny piece of metal. Got the bottle right next to it. Bottle sounds like it's intact. A lot of times if they're broken, it'll make a different sound, but that one sounds solid. So I'm going to try to get them out of here and see just what we've got. The metal object I'm very curious about. Don't really have a clue. And after I get them out, I'm going to dig it out a little bit more, see what else we can find here. It sure is. Nope, it's not broken. Okay, so, but yeah, it is. There's a hole in it. So that's French's mustard jar. You can see the patent date is February 23rd, 1915. Took a little bit of doing, and I'm still not sure what it is. Oh, looks like this is some sort of a kerosene lamp. Burner. Got a little dust in me. Yep, that's what it is. And actually, it's pretty darn good shape. You can see the filler hole right here, and there's the burner. That's where the fumes of the kerosene would have come out of. Looks like some sort of an adjustment knob. I've taken it apart. I do not see any patent date. Still, it's interesting. Just now, I got a call from the church. Something about they've heard about my expertise with a shovel. Working on a project for the church, digging a ditch for an electrical line, and lo and behold, starting to find some glass. Found a bottle, big dish shard. It's looking pretty good. So let me show you what I'm doing. So we're starting here, coming down. Just digging this ditch, going around and behind that building. We're fixing to put a new air conditioning system in. As I was digging right here, I came up with some dish shards, and I probed it out. And right here, there's a layer of bricks down about 18 inches. I'm gonna come back another day and dig that out. Right down here, you see my probe. That's where I found a really nice bottle. Getting broken window panes out. This is the bottle, Scott's emulsion with lime and soda, cod liver oil. I hit it really hard with my shovel. I'm using a really heavy duty root slayer, and very fortunate it did not break. I know this is a fairly common bottle, but I do not have one like it in my collection, so I'm tickled about that. And then I just brought up this dish shard from, actually not a dish shard, it's from the shard from a bowl. I really like the design on that, and that's why I decided to go ahead and turn the camera on and see what else I can come up with. hadn't planned on filming anything. And so this is the top to a lamp globe. I apologize for the air conditioner making all this racket. Nothing I can do about that. But look at what I got right there. It looks like a nice one, and it looks like it's intact. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm gonna try to get it down here so you can see. Neck's still intact on it. I don't see any embossing, but oh, it's intact. Oh, you know what? It's probably some sort of a medicine. I don't know, I like that. I don't have one of those either. No embossing, but the neat thing about this location is that I'm digging right next to where the original St. Monica's church stood here in Palatka. The main body of the church has been moved over about maybe 75 to 100 feet, and that was built in 1899. But the original church dates back to the 1850s, before the Civil War. Any bottles that I get out of here have the potential to be quite old. The seam on this one stops right at the base of the neck. So probably, if we were to just go by that, I'm going to take a guess and say the 1880s. Don't know if it's any older than that. I'm still learning about my bottles, but I got to tell you, I don't have one like this, and now I'm just tickled to death. Looks like this typical Florida lightning storm weather is rolling in. You can see over here in the east it's starting to darken up. Just looked on the radar. Looks like it's going to be significant, so I'm going to wrap it up for now. But I'm coming back. Hey guys, I don't normally get excited about a broken bottle, and nor do I even turn the camera on for a broken bottle. But this one is special. It's an old bottle, and it is a pottled bottle, which means that when the bottle was made, there was a steel rod with a tip of molten glass on it inserted into the base that held the bottle until it was completed. And then once the head and the neck were attached, then they strike that rod and it would break off and leave this little divot you see here right in the middle of the base. I am just ecstatic. That puts it back to probably at least the Civil War, maybe pre-Civil War. Now I'm going to shift location a few blocks and head north to the Loeb-HilburnHome. If you haven't seen any of my earlier videos, Chris and I have done 3 there. It's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. The house was built in 1886, and a prominent family lived there, and so the trash and debris, the bottles and so forth, kind of reflect their lifestyle. This is where Chris and I dug a test hole the other day. It's maybe 12, 14 inches wide, goes down about 2 feet. The first trash dump we dug was right over there, just to the right of Chris's car. We filmed a couple of videos there. But I want to show you what we pulled out of the hole that gives us hope that there might be something more, and maybe some really neat bottles. I've got my buddy Chris with me today, and these are some of the items we found in that test hole. Chris, tell us what we got.
Well, we have a button. That's a nickel. This is the button. That's ceramic, or what they call china. Looks like a top to a common medicine. Nice sign. Piece of bone. We found lots of that. Cut. This is an old lock. I can guarantee that from the size, but it's got something else that fused to it, which happens a lot, on the ground. This thing you might remember from a previous video, the corner things in the stairs. That's why it's serrated on all sides. They push them in.
Can I have a closer look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They push them in and they stick right in.
Yeah, so they would have wedged this right in the corner into purpose?
So they didn't have vacuums back then.
The dust from collecting in the corner, make it easier for the servants.
Yep.
And so, best of all, though, tell us about this.
This, nice. To me, it looks like a part of a stein, possibly. Really nice though. It's got a nice pattern on it.
It's got look at the deer on it.
Yeah, that's why I think it might be.
Yeah. So when Chris and I pulled this out, it really gave us hope. Chris and I have been digging for probably an hour and a half. We've got about a 4 foot by 4 foot hole, and have come up with quite a bit of plateware and rusted food cans. And now we think we finally have got 2 whole bottles across our fingers. So we're gonna see here. One looks like a small med. Just gonna ease it out.
Nice.
And it's melted on one end. Oh well, let's put that one there. And the other one, ooh, food jar.
No, it's intact, no cracks or anything. I don't know, is it a condiment jar?
I think it's a food jar, maybe preserves.
Yep.
Could be pickle.
The only thing it has is a number 1 on the bottom.
That'll be the mold number.
Yep.
We found a lot of broken plateware this morning, but this is the largest chunk we've got so far. Not sure what it is. It is broken, but ooh, my goodness. Well, what say you, Chris?
I don't know, part of a very large bowl.
It would have been enormous.
Baking dish, I don't know. It's big. Wow. No markings on it.
There was some green when I first pulled it out.
It looks like a faint floral
There
pattern.
you go, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a green floral on it.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been beautiful back in the day.
So it's hand painted on, and being in the ground so long, it's just come off.
We're following the feature, as they say, on the Curse of Oak Island, and everything's going this way. We've got some burnt areas, we've got melted bottles, we've got rusted food cans, and now we come up. It sounds whole. What do you do? You tap it, and then we've got another piece of what might be that giant soup tureen. Chris and I aren't sure, but let's see if this bottle's got to give. Hopefully. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's one of the thin ones.
That's a beauty right there.
What did you say they were?
Wine
bottle?
I don't know. And obviously it's a cork top.
Look at the way it's tapered down towards the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's neat.
It's got that indentation. Usually means wine or spirits of some sort.
Could be.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's got a nice shape to it.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. And it's whole. And it's not melted. All right. Almost completely. You rarely find them pieces this big. Yeah.
That's why
It's not a circular.
Wow. Ironstone china. J&G Melkin.
Yeah, England.
Yep, made in. Yeah.
Well, I would expect no less from Marcus Loeb. He was a prominent businessman, owned a saloon and a men's clothing store. Hey guys, it's Chris and me. We're back at the Loeb-HilburnHome. It's the following day. The hole you saw us digging in earlier is that one. Well, it was a hole. Now we've covered it up. And we've moved over about, what do you think, Chris, about 10 feet?
Yep, about 10 feet.
And Chris hit some rusted metal with his metal detector, got to digging. We've come up with all sorts of plate shards, very colorful. But we also have a whole bottle here we're fixing to excavate. I wanted to get you right down in the hole, and you can see there's more of this plateware. Really, really nice. My sister-in-law should be happy. I'm going to send it to her. She lives just north of Tampa. She's going to try to do something with it. Not sure what, but I think she's going to have a lot to work with after we get finished emptying this hole out. Oh, look at that. All sorts of greens. The inside apparently was red. Gosh, it's all in here, Chris. Oh, I had great hopes. And it is. Oh, too bad.
I'm sorry, this one is green. You're right.
Okay, Chris says that one's green.
Yeah.
But yet the top is still missing. And this is undoubtedly probably an old beer. Taking out a lot more plateware, and now we've come to what looks like a piece of crystal. Here it is. I'm not sure. It's not very deep. Chris, I think, oh, here's another bottle top. You can tell by the striations up here on the very top that it's a golden oldie. All right, so back to I don't know. I'm gonna hand it to you, Chris, so you can kind of clean that off a little bit. And give me.
It's intact.
It's intact, isn't it?
Wow. Oh, it's got a little chip on the base here.
Yeah, but that's the most.
Looks like a candle holder, maybe. See there's a spot where a candle would sit.
Yeah. Okay.
Candle
Right.
holder.
Yeah, could be. I mean, the bottom is.
There's a little crack on the bottom.
Chris and I just had a brief discussion about what we just found. So tell us now what you think it is, Chris.
I don't think it was a candle holder because of the way the handle sits.
So you think that's the bottom?
That's the base, and it might have been a hurricane lamp or something.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool. Sometimes it takes a while to sort it out.
That's why we're finding pieces of brass too.
Right. Yep.
For the wick part.
Oh, okay.
Neat.
Okay, Chris and I are about done with this hole. It was not very big, maybe a couple of feet wide and 1.5 feet deep. But we did come up with what we think is the burner to part of that globe that we found.
Yep, so that's the burner for a hurricane lamp. Kind of crunched up and everything, but these things would have held the glass. Wick would have come up here.
Right. It kind of helps tell the whole story of what we found here. Going to give you a quick look what we came up with out of this hole. Now Chris has washed them off, but lots of different pottery shards. This is an interesting pattern. Looks like kind of a feather maybe. And we did come up with the top for the amber beer and one bone. It's been sawn. Well, it's another day and Chris and I are back at the Loeb-HilburnHome. We've just been punching holes in the ground with our probe. We've got at least, we think, one whole bottle in the ground, a bunch of different broken shards, some plateware, and now we pulled out something that's gold plated and Chris is examining it. Chris, why don't you come over here and show us what you got?
It's tough to read. Penny, and I think that's an NY.
Can I have a look?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was the other part of it.
Yeah. So we're reasonably sure it's gold plated because the sun's not shining, but it was pretty shiny. And I don't know if you can make that out, but it looks like Timmy or Tinny, New York on it. Not sure. That's kind of interesting. Chris is thinking, well, maybe it was wrapped around a perfume. Have no idea. I tried to Google it a minute ago. Didn't do any good with that. If there's anybody out there that has a clue, let us know. Even though it's broken, it's still interesting. We've got some very fancy plateware. Might be a vase here, possibly, or bowl, not sure. This may be the piece to a mineral spring water from Hungary. This looks like the top to a Hawk wine, which would have been a Riesling. We're probably talking mid-1880s. Some other little pieces, shards. Here's the top to a small medicine. Maybe an amber beer. Got lots and lots of bones that have been cut up and sawn. All right, you can just see it in the hole here. I can see a nice bubble right there. That looks promising. We don't know if it's whole or not. We're not sure what kind of bottle it is, but we're fixing to. Oh my!
Looks like a medicine of some sort.
Wow! Go ahead and.
That's a nice one. Oh, got some embossing.
Excellent. Okay, so that says Reed and Conrick, New York. Wow, that's intact too. That's a nice, beautiful amber.
That is nice.
There's the seam and it stops right here at the neck. Excellent. That's a golden olean and it is perfect condition. So a couple minutes later, I'm digging down beneath where we found that amber apothecary bottle. It came up with another bottle. Looks like it's whole, maybe a small medicine. My apologies. We had technical difficulties with that last video segment. I had intended to film that last bottle coming out of that hole. It's a really good bottle. I believe it's a rare pharmacy. I have to get it just right with the light. It says the Putnam Pharmacy, PF Peak, Palatka, Florida. Chris and I think that there's not too many of these kicking around. Okay, we got something in the hole. It's big and it's brass and there's some roots growing through it. Chris is hard at it. We're gonna take turns So what we've got is this. It's big and it's brass and it's circular and goes all the way around. This root goes through it. We got to cut this root off, and then we're going to cut this root off over here, and whatever this brass thing is, we're going to slide it out and up. That's the plan. Right, Chris? I should have brought my Sawzall, but I did not, and so here we are, manual labor. Okay, we're taking turns. Here we go. You can.
Wow, that is a big root.
Yeah, and so I think I'm through this one.
Okay.
And then we got to get down to the other one, I think.
You picked the toughest spots to dig.
Oh, I'm telling you, Jesus God. Okay. Okay, let's get it pried. We can pry it without damage. I don't have, it's probably a worthless piece of metal, but let's see, what am I going to use here? Try to, should have used a crowbar. Don't tell me these two roots are grown together. It's free now. And, oh, I bent it. Okay, we're going to cut just like this, Chris. Okay, come on. Some two old men out here sweating their butts off for worthless relics. Okay. All right. Come on, bugger. It's got to be old, whatever it is. Okay. Oh, jeez.
You know what that is?
Okay, tell me.
That goes under a toilet.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope.
We did all of that for a toilet?
Yeah.
Oh, please, Lord, tell me this is an old toilet. Chris.
It's a good thick one.
Okay.
That's the piece that you bolt to the floor, and then the bolts come up through to hold the toilet down.
I don't think that's something I'm going to put in my display case at the house.
No, I wouldn't keep it.
Okay. Hey, you know, whatever. And then, as I was reaching down for my water bottle, look what's on the ground next to it. Can you see it? Right there. It's an Indian. Still has the paint on it, all metal. A friend of mine has encouraged me to use a shaker box, and we didn't on this site, and I think we should have, because this is what the rain revealed. This is in some of the spoils that we had dug up and raked out. That's great. Good heavy metal. Chris ran his metal detector over it and it went off no problem.